Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the game RivenWorld, the first era, and it's just a weekly update that I normally do on Wednesday morning, but tomorrow I've got a lot of stuff I've got to do, and so we're doing it here on a Tuesday morning, and we're actually going to be talking about the Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time dev stream that they'll have tomorrow. And tomorrow would be the 15th, okay, because today's the 14th. And, a happy Valentine's Day for all those people out there in the world. I've been married a long, long time. I met my sweetheart when I was 15. I married her when I was 18, and we've been married, and it's been a long time. So for all those people that found love in their life, happy Valentine's Day. So moving forward, let's just bring over the Discord and look at what they've got here for the devlog. Now, this week, what they normally do on their Discord is tell us a little update on Monday mornings to let us know what's going on with the game. So this week's log was good evening. Last week they started the land claim system. We saw that in the other video. I did a very lengthy video on the land claim system. They started the melee combat, and they worked on AI animals and AI decision tree. All right, that's good to know. So hopefully we see that the fruits of that labor is reflected in tomorrow's live stream. I want to see the combat. I mean, if the combat is squirrely, I want to know that. I mean, because it's a very promising game. It looks like the developers are putting a lot of effort into coding what their vision is. But if the combat system is not adequate, then again, it doesn't make a good PvP game, right? So I go back. My thoughts go back to Frozen Flame, dumpster fire when it came to melee combat, and they never, after months and months and months and months, they never fixed it, and I don't think they ever will, because I just don't think they have it within their wheelhouse to get things fixed correctly. So with that said, I'm hoping that the melee combat in this game is par. I'm not asking for superior. I'm not looking for a Frozen Flame dumpster fire. I'm just looking for par. I'm not looking for superior. To show us something that looks good. And there's some games out there that really do it very well, and the combat's smooth. Actually, when I played Elder Scrolls Online, that was a good combat. Guild Wars 2, good combat system. What else did I play recently that had a good combat system? There's been a lot. Well, Rift had one. That's years ago. Rift had a good combat system. Black Desert Online, it was okay, but it was a little more fast-paced than I like. New World did okay, but New World's problem went beyond. They had a good product. They did a good product, but their problem went beyond the pale of the developers not knowing what the player base wanted, and they just continued to do stuff that was so out of space logic that it didn't make any sense to the player base. So most of the people that I played with that game left that game months and months ago, because it just became a terrible decision. Moving, the developers would say, what do you guys want? 100 people would say, we just want to be able to defend our base and win occasionally. Nope, we're going to just make that harder. It was like, really? It's like, okay. So this week, this developer is going to add guild support. Obviously, they need a good guild system in this game. They need permissions. They need ranking guild system with a permissions guild system. And let me explain that to you. When you invite people to your guild, a lot of games allow for 3 or 4 different rankings, like a peasant, a member, an officer, and a guild master. So those are like the 4 basics, and I'm just giving them representation of, you can call them whatever you want. And then what happens is, within that system, people are given permissions to what they can do with guild assets. So, for example, if I have a vault and I build a door, and I go to that door and I put the permission on it, officers only, that means that anyone under the officer's rank can't open that door. If the guild master puts guild permissions only, guild master permissions only, only the guild master can open that door. Same thing with loot boxes. You could go to the loot box and put a permission on it saying that only the serfs or the members can open it, or anybody above this level can open this box. And this way that becomes common loot for people. And this way you can protect, as a guild master or officer, you can protect some of the items that you feel that are that need to be protected in a way that you want to be able to divvy them out, because they're worth a lot, you know what I mean? So people just don't have a free-for-all. I had a game that I played, they had no permissions on the boxes, and what happened with the world was it had canyons the endless canyons, and we used to have a guy that would open all the boxes, take all the loot, and then he would jump into the canyon. And then when he died, he dropped all his loot. And then he would log back in naked and go grab all the loot out of the box and jump back into the canyon. So basically, he was just taking our items and destroying them in the world because you couldn't get to them because they were in an endless canyon that you wouldn't be able to go collect all that stuff because you would die on your way down. So that was what that troll wanted to do with the game. And we tell the developer, you need to allow us to put permissions on these boxes so that we can't just get any idiot showing up. And the problem with the game, it was Rend, if you want to know what the game was. Problem with the game is when someone logged on, they just picked a team side, blue or white. And if you picked blue, you had full permissions on the blue team. So you even could go to the wall when white was attacking and open up the door. And some of these trolls would just do that. They would wait for us to have a prestigious building, a whole plan. And as soon as we got attacked, they would run up to the door and open it. And then they would go around and just open up all the doors. And there was no friendly fire in the game, so you couldn't stop them. And there was no kick mechanism, so you couldn't kick them. So that anyone who joined willy-nilly to whatever side they wanted to be on had full permissions to do whatever troll. I called it Rend, the trolling paradise game. Because you could just troll. And obviously that game's dead in the water. It's not out anymore. There's no servers for it. The developer just never understood what they were doing. They were like, people in this world just want to watch the world burn down. And I have found that 50% of the player base that I have met are like that. They think it's funny. That's why they buy a video game. They don't have any care in their care is how many people can they upset. That is what they want. That I had a friend, not a friend anymore, but he would get in games and he would do the most trolliest, nasty things. And people would PM me and says, dude, this guy's in your guild and he's doing this to us. And it's like, well, that's part of the game mechanics. But I mean, this guy went so far and finally we kicked him. And then he joined another guild and he convinced that guild to troll our entire guild because he was mad that we kicked him. And it was like, dude, you are doing things that are so disturbing that if you were, it's just beyond the pale disturbing. And if human nature has come to that, where we as a society just don't give a rat's ass anymore, that you're hurting people's pleasure time, because that's what you're doing, is you're playing a video game. I play games to have fun, to get away and enjoy myself. Just like some people go to a bar and play pool, or go play tennis, or go play basketball. People go to enjoy this. Imagine going to play basketball and every 2 minutes someone runs out in the court and whacks the ball away from some spectator, runs up and goes bam, and it's like ha ha ha, goes back to the stands and sits there and waits until they can run out again, and nobody stops them. Because it's within the mechanics of what our reality is now. It's like, oh my goodness. So they have to have a good guild system. The finished basic melee combat, yeah, we just discussed that. You got to get something out there for us to see, because Tarkus is needing to see that. If I would be asked what I need to see in this game right now, I need to see combat. I need to see some sort of combat system, some sort of monster fighting or AI movement. I need to see something. And add an ability to feed your land claim. Okay, they talked about that in many of the other videos. Add world decay in unclaimed land on claims that have no energy. I get that. We've gone through that, what that all means in past videos. Add more resources to the map. Okay, we understand that. That's fluff. That's like, that's That's little Toby's job. I mean, what we used to say when I used to design games for BioWare when I did Neverwinter Nights, we used to have a guy, we call him Little Toby, and he would do those kinds of things. He would go out and add trees, like the painter Ross there. Every mistake is a good mistake. Happy trees, happy this. And that's what that guy, Toby's job was to just go into the world and add the resources and add the fluff and add the ambiance to the world. And he did no coding. He just grabbed models that we had already created and would place those models down. But there's still an art to that. There is such an art to building robust worlds that people feel like they're naturally in the world. Having a tree sticking out of a boulder, that's not natural. Having a tree sticking this way outside of a cliff, that's not normal. I mean, ask yourself, does Mother Nature create circles, and does it create horizon objects? Not really. I mean, most things go straight up. You know, how many damn sunflowers you see growing in this direction, right? So those kind of drop, you know, it's like, who put this together? The Mad Hatter? So those kinds of things, there's an art to it. So hopefully they've got somebody on their team that likes to do that, because it is a very it took a lot of time to do it right. And add an oil lamps, furnace, and other consumable crafting stations. Okay, so we're seeing more of the crafting stations come to light. So yeah, I mean, it's getting there. It looks like they've got a plan for what they're working on this week. So I'm assuming because they're working on it this week, we're not going to really see a lot of this week stuff in the dev stream tomorrow. We'll probably see a lot of what we saw last week in addition to hopefully some basic melee combat system. Well, I want to conclude by just going back to their Steam page and looking at what we've got here. They haven't added to the Steam page in a while. My thoughts is they might want to consider adding another video. Like, this video has been on their page a long time, and we've seen it. So it would be nice. I mean, they put this video together. They could probably get somebody in their shop to open up OBS and do a new video while they're testing. Because a lot of times when I go to test for beta products, I'll turn my recording on and I'll go play for 3 hours. And then I'll dump that video and I'll just chop it up into the interesting parts. I slam them together, put my cover page on, my end page on, I add some narrative, and boom, I've got a product. And I think that's what they should consider doing here. I imagine it wouldn't take that long. I think it might add to their player base, because people will see that they're updating their Steam page more often. I mean, they're doing good with the live streams and the Discord, but they don't have that many people on their Discords, and as you can see, they don't have that many people active on their Steam forum. So I think what they got to do is start using this, because this is where they're going to sell their product, right? So I think they need to start thinking about marketing, getting some newer stuff on this page, regardless if it's just regurgitated what we've already seen, but just put something new up here so that people see that the development phase is moving on. For those people that are not watching YouTube videos, because most people will just do what I do, is go up to new and noteworthy and look at what's new, and then go into a queue and say next, next, next. Now, somebody's going to come to this, if they came to this 2 weeks ago, and then they're going to come back to it and say, well, geez, the devs haven't added anything new to their Steam page. I'm just going to move on. You know, a lot of people are like that. And I'm actually like that too. If I don't see much going on a Steam page, that much activity, I assume the player base is dead on arrival. And if there's no player base with this type of game, then there's no fun factor, really. All right, well, that concludes my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.